they ask the question and answer session. Whoever wants to ask any of the three speakers for All This Gold today, you can either raise your hand, we give you the chance to ask your question directly to them, or write the question in the chat box or to me directly. So any question before I receive some questions, but in case someone have questions here. Okay. So the first question is for distinguished Toastmaster Farhas Farouk. It's nice that you presented these 12 things in this short time, but what if you are in an open and honest, if you are open and honest and others don't understand that? What should a person do to understand himself to make the trouble, to avoid the trouble? But these people, even if you are open, clear, concise, direct, but these people keeps making troubles. How we can solve this in the workplace?
Good question, and something that we always face. We will face situations like this regardless of the type of workplace or where we are working. We work with human beings. Human beings come in all forms, shapes, and sizes with different kind of thinking. We have control over the way we function, we operate, and the way we react. That's the only thing we have control over. We do not have control over the way other people work, the other people operate, and the way the other people respond. Now that should be pretty clear. This is what we control, the other thing we cannot control. So now, if there is something that is within our control, we work and do our best to control that aspect. But trying to control something we have no control over is wasted effort. Now, we can do everything within our power to create a positive environment, to be open, but if the receptor, if the person receiving it does not look at it in a positive way, there's nothing much else we can really do. We can continue to be good, or we can try to become bad. Now, I am sure you will realize and you will agree, the first option is what we have to do. We have to continue to be good. Because becoming bad just simply means we will come down from our own level down to somebody else's low level. And why would you want to do that? So my sincere advice, continue to be open, even if the other person is not positively responding to that. And you never know, at some stage they might figure out, they may realize, you know what, I mean, I've been so nasty to this fellow all these years, but he continues to be good to me. And you never know, you might actually inspire some positive change in them. But trying to react to it negatively is not going to get you anywhere. Secondly, trying to worry about what other people do and what other people say is also not going to get you anywhere. That's what I would do. That's what I have always done. I have faced these kind of people in my life. And sometimes people close to me at work, even my home, they sometimes say, why do you continue to tolerate this? But I say, but that's who I am. I don't want to go down to that level. And at some stage, when they realize it, they actually become good friends. So, look at it positive. Back to you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have to say good and let the others have their own time to change if they want to. There is another question for you, and I have another question for distinguished Toastmaster Sarah, but Jilani, I think he's a Toastmaster from Sri Lanka. He didn't say that, but I felt that. He says he would like to ask you, what are the best ways to improve listening skills? He's mentioned a statement before that he has a problem. Everyone is a good listener, but it's the speaker one who makes the listener understand. This is his statement before. The question is how he becomes a better listener.
I responded to that statement in the chat, and I'll just read it out for the benefit of others. The reality is that not everybody is a good listener. I mean, I may think I'm a good listener, but the reality is I'm not a good listener. None of us are good listeners. Even if we think we are good listeners, there are certain times when we will not listen. Like, say, for instance, I am a good listener generally to the world, but when my wife speaks, I am not a good listener to her. Right? So we have our moods, we have our times. Not we can never say I'm a good listener because that's not practically possible. However, what we can try and do once again is we try to learn to fix ourselves, not worry about other people. And in order to do that, and now I'll get to the second part of your question, second question rather, how to improve listening skills is actually to practice listening, dear sir. I hope your sir Gilani looks like a gent's name. To practice listening. Listen to friends, listen to your family, listen to workplace, listen to news, listen to podcasts, attend Toastmasters meetings. I'm doing a small sales pitch for Toastmasters also. Engage your listening skills as much as you can, and you'll be amazed at how much you will be able to develop that. There's no other way. Listening is just like any other exercise. If you want to run faster, you need to learn to run first. You have to continue to run. I am someone who took to the sport of running very recently, and I thought I was terrible at it. Little by little, I did run. I ran half a kilometer, 1 kilometer, then it became 2, 3. I finished 5. Then two of my friends helped me and we ran 10 kilometers. And just last year in October, I did my first half marathon, 21.1 kilometers. And now I am working towards full marathon. If you want to learn to do something, you need to keep practicing. And that's the only way to do it. You want to be a good listener, practice listening, yes. And I can see DTM Zahra wants to add something. So yes, madam, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, DTM Farhas. I totally agree with what you have just said. And I have just a comment or maybe a suggestion. If you are a Toastmaster, Mr. Gilani, then you would love, or it would be better to take both roles in Toastmasters, which is the accountant and the grammarian, because I should say that you will be forced to listen to every single word. So we would like to encourage you to take those two roles in more than one meeting, and you will definitely be able to practice your listening skills. That's it.
And if I may add to DTM Zahra, in addition to the accountant and grammarian, which are absolutely the right roles, we can also take the evaluators roles, speech evaluator, table topics evaluators, whatever, because that also will force you to be a good listener, and that will help you to practice listening skills. Or please welcome, if you're in Sri Lanka, please visit my house and you can listen to my wife all day.
Thank you very much for the amazing advices you gave. Actually, that's right. For me, I had something, first of all, when I joined Toastmasters, that I have to listen to different accents, not only practice listening, but learning different accents. And sometimes I used to ask Toastmaster Abdullah, what are they saying? I understand things the opposite way. That highlights on the importance. Yes, that's it. We used to tell jokes about it. He said this or she said that. That was totally different. And I had to, though I'm a coach, I practice listening, but sometimes different accents, we need to practice also listening, and we feel ourselves more interested in listening things that meets our interests, not only that. Okay, we have now a question for you, distinguished Toastmaster Zahra. Negotiations among people in non-profit organizations versus profit-making organizations, the commercial ones. Is there a difference in negotiation between them?
So thank you so much, Toastmaster Widad. From my point of view, I think there are similarities and differences, but let me start with the similarities. As I said, negotiation consists of three things. There is a problem, people, and of course, they would love to reach to a conclusion. So in every negotiation, yes, there are problems that they would love, those people, they would love to solve the problem and of course, reach to a conclusion where both parties are happy with that. Now, from my experience in Toastmaster as it's non-profit organization and at work as it's a profit organization, I should say that in the profit organizations, we do have rules that and objectives set by the by the organization, and we cannot, let's say, overcome, or we cannot go beyond those objectives or change those objectives as it's set by the board of director. But in Toastmasters, we as Toastmasters, I'm talking about the club level, for example, still, yes, we do have some principles, but we can change it, we can adjust it. So I think it's more flexible, but definitely it's almost the same, as it should be respectful, and we should communicate a lot. We should check what's the interest of both parties and reach to a conclusion when both of the parties are winners 100% fully. I hope this answers your question, Toastmaster Widad, or the one who asked.
I hope so. I hope so. Thank you very much for this precise answer. And then to Dr. Gina, the question is, the examples we gave about getting the best or encourage the best and to inspire others are among children and school place and university situation. Where can we apply these things in life, in other places in life? That's the question being addressed to you, Dr. Gina.
Thank you to Toastmaster Vida. Now, okay, I think you can see me. You can see me, right?
Yeah.
About
We can hear you.
encouraging to get the best. You know, it can be applied in all part of our lives. Okay, let it be in our personal life or in the professional life. Now, if we take from different scenario, like for example, when if it is school kids, okay, if you are going into the story of Albert Einstein's story, if you take, he says that the teachers doesn't encourage creativity. So he was expecting teachers to encourage him, to give him more creativity, so that he could he expected from his school. At the same time, if you look into Malala Yousafzai, she was having a self-belief in herself, and her parents were very supportive. That is one of the things. Now, if you look into Barack Obama's situation, Barack Obama also, he was self-encouraging himself to find out how the people will respond if he is standing for election. So if you look into different situations, it is not only the person within himself being self-encouraged. It could be the society, your parents, the community can all give a contribution to encourage a person to become very productive in the society. That can be within our family, or it is in the workplace. I think I have answered the question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, you gave us different examples which are really helpful for us. Thank you very much. The question goes back to you, distinguished Toastmaster Farhaz Farouk. You mentioned a dozen of skills, and the question I received are these 12 skills available in one person? If yes, okay. If not, can these be acquainted? Can people learn these 12 skills and become at equal level of accept or acquainting them as a professional people in communication?
Okay, so the answer to the first question, are these skills available in one particular person? To start with, we start with zero skills. That's the reality. As human beings, we don't even know to walk when we are born. That's the reality. And everything else that we get or we develop, we learn along the way. Now, for instance, if you take me, despite being a Sri Lankan, the language I speak most fluently is actually English, not my own local languages. I speak Sinhala, which is the national language, first national language. I speak it reasonably well, and I can read and write. I can speak the second national language, Tamil, reasonably well. I cannot read and write, but English is my strongest language. Now, if I was born with being a Sri Lankan, I should have automatically been able to speak Sinhala and Tamil automatically, but I didn't. I learned. And that's because of the circumstances I found myself in. I actually grew up in another part of the world, and therefore I was privy to learning English first, and I got access to two other languages, Arabic and Hindi, which has got absolutely nothing to do with my nationality. So you see, the point I'm trying to make is the skills we learn, we come with zero skills and we learn skills based on our environment, the environment we find ourselves in. Now, those 12 skills that I put, by the way, is not an exhaustive list. You can actually bring 20 skills if you need, maybe, or you can just be happy with 6 of them. The point is, depending on the environment we find ourselves in, we will be able to develop those skills. Now, do I have all 12 of those skills? Well, I know about them, but I may not be good at all 12 of them. Am I working towards developing those skills? Absolutely, yes. So I guess my answer is very clear. We don't have all 12 of those skills. In fact, we start with 0 skills, but based on environment and situation, we learn skills, and we will continue to learn skills as we go along. The day we stop learning is the day we stop growing. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. It seems that we have these skills, but it depends on, as you mentioned, it depends on the circumstances and daily life experience we have, the people we meet, different types of people, different types of culture, and all these things, what we read, what we study, how we react to experience in life makes us have these skills in one way or another, but each one in it at a different level. And sometimes you don't need this level, this skill at the moment, so we use other skill better than one that maybe this is how I understand what you presented. Hope I'm right in this. That's all for the questions I received. Any more questions from the audience?
I might,
So,
yeah, I would love
yes.
just to add, let's say, a statement regarding what we were talking about, the skills that we should practice. I think even the negotiation is a skill. Now, everyone should practice this as much as they can, as it's a skill, so we should practice it. We should put ourselves into a situation where we will discuss things, where we will try our very best to reach to a conclusion. We can do it at home, we can do it with our colleagues at work, or even in Toastmasters. So it's one of the skills that we can train in order to be more and an effective negotiator.
So, you're mentioning that we have to be at least aware of what's going on around us, what's going on with us, internally and externally, and we can get these skills slowly, consciously or unconsciously with time, just to be aware of what's going on and to react in a positive way, as Farhas just mentioned. Be positive, try to be open and precise at the same time. Maybe these are the best advice we can give to the audience.